Night Out by Mr. Jelly. Hello, my name is Mr. Jelly, and I'm not very brave. In fact, I'm afraid of everything and anything you can think of, and a few more things besides. I get into a terrible panic over the slightest little thing. Like this afternoon when the phone rang. Ring, ring! Oh, help! Oh, disaster! It's a fire alarm. Oh, my goodness, there's a fire, a huge fire, an enormous, huge fire that's going to burn my house down. Oh, help! I shrieked. It took me 5 minutes to realise that I don't have a fire alarm, and that it was only the phone. Hello? Who's there? I asked.
Hello, is Mr. Strong here?
Said Mr. Strong. Hello, Mr. Strong.
I was wondering if you would like to come to the fair this evening with me and Mr. Tickle,
he asked. I would, but how am I going to get there? I can't go on my own.
Don't worry, said Mr. Strong. We'll come and collect you at 6 o'clock. See you later.
However, by 6 o'clock they'd not arrived, and there was still no sign of them by 6:30. I opened my front door a crack and peeked out. Nothing. It was a lovely summer's evening and all was quiet, so I decided I would start out for the fair. I was sure that it would not be long before I met Mr. Strong and Mr. Tickle. After walking for a while, I noticed that the sun was setting. It was later than I'd realised. The shadows under the trees grew longer and longer, and darker. I began to feel afraid, and my knees were trembling. Why ever did I leave my lovely warm house? I said to myself. I wish Mr. Strong and Mr. Tickle would hurry up. Not long after this, the sun dipped down behind the trees, and there I was, on my own, in the dark, in the middle of the wood. I began to imagine I could see shapes lurking in the shadows, and then I heard a sound, a horrible, terrifying sound. Twit, twoo! Oh, calamity, oh, help, I cried, and hid behind a tree. At that moment the moon came out, and above me, sitting on a branch, was an owl. Of course, it had only been an owl hooting. I breathed a sigh of relief, and set off down the path again. The moon rose higher in the night sky, making everything look pale and ghostly. My knees began to tremble again, and suddenly I saw a dark something out of the corner of my eye. I stopped. The dark something stopped. I did not dare turn around to see what it was. I took a step, and then another. The whatever it was behind me followed. I walked faster. The whatever it was behind me followed faster. No, disaster! Oh, great heavens, I shrieked. It's an ogre! A huge man-eating ogre! A huge man-eating ogre who was going to gobble me up! And with this I ran for my life. But as fast as I ran, the whatever it was behind me ran just as fast. And then I ran into something, and it picked me up. Oh, help! It's got me, and it's going to...
No, said a voice. What's all this fuss about?
It was Mr. Strong. Oh, Mr. Strong, please help me. There's a horrible something chasing me.
I can't see anything,
said Mr. Strong, and he put me back down on the ground. There it is again, I cried, and leapt into Mr. Strong's arms. Mr. Strong laughed.
Why, you silly Billy, it's only your shadow, he said,
and put me down again. And of course he was right. There, on the ground behind me, was my shadow. I felt rather foolish.
Never mind, said Mr. Strong. Let's go to the fun fair. Mr. Tickle is waiting at the edge of the wood.
Now Mr. Strong was with me, I felt a lot braver. Shortly, we came to the edge of the wood. Suddenly, two long arms wound themselves around me. Oh, calamity! Oh, disaster! It's an octopus! An enormous octopus with long tentacles! An enormous octopus with long tentacles, and is going to squeeze me to death! I cried in terror. Then the enormous octopus with long tentacles tickled me. Hee-hee! Oh! I laughed. Of course, it was Mr. Tickle.
My, you really are a nervous fellow, said Mr. Strong.
We soon reached the fun fair. There was a big wheel and a carousel and all sorts of exciting rides, all of which looked much too scary for me.
"How about some candy floss?"
said Mr. Strong. This sounded more like my sort of fun. At the candy floss stall we met Mr. Greedy and little Miss Bossy. Mr. Greedy was eating candy floss. "If you eat any more, you'll burst," said Miss Bossy to Mr. Greedy. Suddenly there was a loud bang. "What was that?" I cried. "Oh, heavens! Oh, disaster! Mr. Greedy's exploded! Mr. Greedy's eaten too much and exploded all over the place!"
"Calm down," said Mr. Strong. "It was only a balloon bursting."
I breathed a sigh of relief. "What shall we do next?" asked Mr. Strong. Then he looked at me and grinned.
"How about a ride on the ghost train?"
My eyes opened wide in terror. My knees felt weak. I began to tremble.
"Only teasing,"
said Mr. Strong, and laughed. And I laughed, nervously.